Welcome back to the catch-up here on Cris Cyborg's YouTube channel. And look who's back! It's my co-host, Cris Cyborg, fresh off her successful title defense on Thursday over Arlene Blencowe. Cris, congratulations. How are you?
Thank you. I feel amazing. You know, we did a nice camp, and I feel very happy. The first submission in my career, and I'm very excited, thankful for all my coaches. You know, did an amazing game plan for this fight.
Yes, dominant performance. We'll talk about it here in a second. I want to give a quick shout out to Sabina Mazo, Patricky Freite, and Vergil Ortiz, who stepped in your co-host seat. They did an awesome job. Really happy about that. Also want to tell our audience, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Really appreciate all the feedback on those shows over the last couple weeks. And finally, CrisCyborg.com. This is pretty cool. I just found this out recently. So if you go to CrisCyborg.com, there's a premium membership. You can pay for it. It's $2.99 a month. And there's all this behind the scenes exclusive stuff that you won't get publicly on the channel, including, I heard you're doing a Q&A with your fans, which is awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes, training videos, things like that. So if you guys want a little bit more Cris, on the website, CrisCyborg.com, sign up. I think it's a great value and just really cool to get to do one-on-one stuff with you, Cris, which I think is so great. This is something you've done leading up to your last fight, correct?
Yes, we started. I think you can sign up before November 1st. Mm-hmm. And it's very nice because one day after my fight, I already talked to my fans who signed up for membership. And this is the nice thing. You're going to special time for them. And they're going to be able to talk to them. They can talk to me, you know, in person and make a question and answer. And it's a nice moment with my fans.
Yes, really excited about that. Like I said, I know there's a lot of huge Cris Cyborg fans in here, so definitely worth checking out. But let's talk about you, Cris, in terms of leading up to the fight. So we left off, I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks before the fight. Like I mentioned, Sabina came on, I think the week you were away. And then, so we're going to start from there. Leading up to the fight, how did everything go? It looked like camp went well. Like I said, really dominant win on Thursday night. How did the rest of camp go?
You know, I was really training Fox to the fight, and we work everything for this fight. You know, after Julia Budd, I was working with Vergil Ortiz, and we work a lot of boxing because I was having a plan to do boxing before this MMA fight. But then the pandemic time and then messed a little bit our plans, delayed a little bit. But it's nice because when I fought Arlene Blencowe, she's 2-time world champion boxing, we already prepared for her, and I was feel good everything, grappling, in the stand-up, strike, Muay Thai. And we did the camp at Kings MMA. And the Kings MMA, you know, every week have some fighters that have a fight. Then it's every day, it's a hard training. And it's very nice. I knew Rafael Cordeiro from the beginning of my career. I did my first training Muay Thai with him in Brazil. Then he knew me a lot. And then this is just together to make an amazing plan. And with Cobrinha too, we trained, you see, I did the submission. But I really work hard. You know, for a long time I work hard jiu-jitsu, but I never had the opportunity to submit because I really like strike. I like finishing strike. And this fight, you work the same thing, and they have the opportunity for the submission.
Yes, and I thought it was so cool how you decided to box Arlene because that's obviously one of her strengths. You could have, had the match gone. You could have just tried to take her to the ground right away and tried to use your ground game. But I like the fact that you tried to play her at her game, which was very interesting. Just one more thing leading up to the fight. We're in new times now. Obviously, a lot of COVID testing. How was that leading up to the fight? Because that's something you've never done before.
You know, it's a lot of protocol over there because, when you show up to the hotel, and we cannot go outside. You have to stay locked out in the hotel. We cannot see your coaches, and it's a very, very sensitive moment. But I used the week of the fight because I was trained so hard for the fight. I used the week for rest. I train a little bit, I run, I jump around in the room, and I sleep a lot over there too. But the rest my body, because if you think about it, when you go to the fight, you're gonna have to go ready. You cannot train the week of the fight, And it's nice because I like to be locked out in my room, even though I don't have COVID, Mm-hmm. But the only stress I had, I feel like my coaches with me because we did the COVID test. Imagine you fly there and you cannot be able to be in my corner.
Yeah.
The only stress thing is this. But it's already put in my mind, I was already thinking about to be aware. Say, if this is happening, we're going to fight anyways, what you work in the gym, you're going to work in the fight. And with a corner, no corner, but a really stress moment because we don't know what's going to happen after you do the test.
Yeah, and you obviously want to fight. I mean, we don't want to have any complications, so that's good that everything sort of went without a hitch and you getting to fight on that night. And I don't know if people were aware, you wore pink in the fight. I know Ryan, someone that you've been working with, unfortunately lost his battle with cancer, the 5-year-old. So the victory must have been a little bit sweeter because I know he was on your mind in that performance when you got the win over Blencowe.
You know, I was saying, for me, I fight 3 times a year, and these people, you know, fight against cancers every day. And then they fight for be alive, fight for survive every day. And for me, it's just for that fight that I didn't want nice for Ryan, but not just for him, but for all everyone in the world fight for cancer. And they remind the girls go to the doctor and do the test, you know, because this is where it's October pink. And because it's nice if you find out something at the beginning, and then you can, you know, recover everything and be good. And, you know, for me, the special winner with him, but for sure he's an angel now everywhere. He's already an angel when he feels here. But he touched a lot of hearts, and I just give it back what he's given to me and give to all the fans.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And obviously our condolences out to his family. But, you know, that's really great. You got to sort of honor him in that way and sort of make awareness, like you said, of that ugly disease, cancer that exists out there. I talked about the performance. It was dominant. I think this was, I mean, everyone was talking about the win on Thursday night. I saw everywhere people just talking about how dominant you really were. Were you expecting it to be that much of a one-sided fight heading in? Because we know how tough Arlene is. She had that, you know, those close fights with Julia Budd. But you really put it on her in this championship fight.
You know, if you think about, a lot of people say, she was no challenge. No, she was a challenge. She's a tough girl, and nobody knocked out her a long time. And she's fight 2 times world. She won 2 times world champion boxing. She's go split decision with Julia Budd. You know, she's tough girl. You know, she's tough girl. She's big challenge. I trained really hard for that fight. You know, I work in boxing, work in the ground game, grappling, everything, because I really respect all the opponents step of me. I know it's the contender number 1, and I know they're ready. And just it was my night that night, you know.
And it was your first title defense. I know everyone's curious about who you're going to fight next, and I think at the top of that list has got to be Cat Zingano. Now, we've heard from Cat that, you know, she doesn't necessarily want to fight again this year. She's looking towards next year. Is that something you'd be willing to wait and you know, wait for her for next year, or would you like to get in another fight this year? What's sort of your thinking? I know this is a fresh win, but everyone's always talking about what's next.
You know, after the fight, I told Scott, I said, you know, Scott, I'm ready for fight. You know, I want to fight, and then he said, Chris, I know you're ready tomorrow. Yes, I am ready. I want to continue training. I hear Cat Zingano saying she's think I'm not going to be able to fight at the end of the year. I'm not going to prepare, but, you know, I'm the champion. I have to continue training and work hard. And if she would like to do this fight and Scott Coker agree, for sure just have to send the contract for Audie. And I'm signing and get ready to be ready for the end of the year for sure.
The other thing about this win on Thursday was that it's your second win over a boxing champion. Of course, you beat Holly Holm a few years back, and that was she's a former boxing champion, so is Arlene. Any updates on your boxing career? Because I was talking to Vergil. He gave you some good praise, Vergil Ortiz Jr., that is, when we were talking about your boxing skills. Any update on that?
You know, for me, it was as my dream doing a boxing fight, and then I told Scott Coker and Audie, you know, for sure we have it to think about. We're thinking about the plan, and then now my manager is work with McGregor and Manny Pacquiao.
That's right, yeah.
They have a great connection in boxing, and then for sure I would like to fight and training. For sure I have to be one focus only in box. It's very different than MMA, but for me, I'm willing to do.
And Katie Taylor's a name that's been linked to you for quite some time. Is that a fight you're still interested in at this point?
No, Katie Taylor is going to be a big challenge for me, you know, for sure. I'm going to work really hard for this fight, always does. But, you know, something, I didn't know how the girls doing boxing getting paid. But I know Scott Coker starts saying, okay, maybe you do 2 fights deal, like she's doing MMA, I'm doing boxing. I think it's great, but I don't know how they're getting paid in boxing. But I'm really getting paid very good in MMA. My second fight I'm doing in Bellator, I'm really happy to work over there. And I believe if I'm going to go boxing, for sure I have to get paid better than MMA. But for sure, I mean, what you should do is a nice challenge for me.
And of course, one of the things we talked about this fight was that this is tied in as well to your Cyborg Nation event that took place over the weekend. How was the show, and when is the next round of the Bantamweight Grand Prix?
I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I was almost crying watching the Cyborg Nation on TV, and I'm very emotional. We work very hard for this event, and always I say it's nice you can give it back for the city I came from, and give the opportunity for the fighters. Have the opportunity, put the people there for fighting, and they get out there for another big shows. And they did amazing. Having one time it happened, one guy did one illegal kick, and the chin. Other guy was a winner, but I talked to John McCart. I don't understand too much about the free stuff. This is the rules from then, and I talked to him, and we figured out to put the non-contest that fight. But the other fight's amazing. And we did the first fight for the Grand Prix. We're gonna have another event December 12th, but this is just a normal event. It's not the Grand Prix. But the next Grand Prix is gonna have it for the second time. It's February 6th, and the final is gonna be May 8th. And the final is gonna fight the Grand Prix. Is gonna sign with Bellator. And I just wanna say thank you, Scott Coker, for giving us a chance for do this, and for sure help us event, and everybody very excited and happy.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. The winner does go to Bellator, which I think is so cool. And like you said, that's one of the great things about working with Scott Coker is that he's working with you guys. This is something where you can give back, and then we can see, obviously, the winner of the tournament go to Bellator. And I think it's such a cool partnership that you had. I wanted to just go back a second. You mentioned how emotional you were about the event. Was that because of everything you put into it, or is it just, giving back and seeing these fighters have this opportunity? What made you so emotional about the event?
How hard it is. And it's very difficult for getting sponsor. Very difficult. People want to support us because people want to support people famous already. Mm-hmm. And our event is the 7th event. I just want to say thank you for my brother and his team. My brother is responsible for the event. I'm really the sponsor, the promote, help it, take care of everything. But he then did amazing. And they're very emotional because I know how hard they work. And how hard every event it's always negative, And I see the opportunity to be on TV, and every event we're getting better. We learn every event, and we try to be partner with our fighters. Want to make it the best event for them work, and they learn a little bit more, and they get emotional because I know how hard they work. And the first time on TV, it's very nice.
Yeah, and I encourage anyone, if you get the chance, now's kind of a tougher time with COVID, but go see a regional. So go see these shows from the ground up. There's so much that goes into it. I do commentary for a local promotion here called Rise Fighting Championship. It's the same thing. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. Any little thing can make, the event go, sideways quickly. So I know what you mean when you said you were emotional, because there is a lot that goes into these shows, and just the opportunities you're giving fighters. I think it's so awesome that you're giving back there. We haven't had a chance to do our Portuguese phrase of the week because obviously I've had the guest hosts on, so it's been a while. I've been trying to go back and learn some stuff, but I thought for this one, you're a big animal lover. I'm a big animal lover. I got a cat. You have the Cyborg Zoo account, which, by the way, go follow that on Instagram, Cyborg Zoo. But how would you say in Portuguese, can I pet your dog? Because I know if I go to Brazil, I'm going to probably see some animals. I'm probably going to want to, pet them and interact with them. So how do you say, can I pet your dog?
Fala. Posso tocar seu cachorro?
Seu cachorro.
Isso. Posso tocar.
Posso tocar. Tocar.
Seu cachorro.
Seu cachorro.
Sim. Cachorro, it's a dog.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cachorro. Okay, I'll remember that. Yeah, because you have a lot. How many dogs are you up to, by the way, for people who might not remember?
I have a big lab. He's 12 years old, and his name is Arlene Blencowe. And now I just Chico Lopez, his famous guy. He's doing the Pitbull Red Nose. He's a big breed, and he's giving me one dog. His Holly. You guys met the last show.
That's right.
And I have 2 dogs, 2 cats. I have 5 chickens. I have 1 pig. I have 1 parrot, 1 parakeet, and fish. I'm done.
Yes, no, I bet it's tough to keep track of all that. Again, Cyborg Zoo on Instagram, you can see all that stuff. Yeah. Really cool what you're doing with the animals. Before we go, we did have a UFC event last weekend, the Fight Island 6 card, Brian Ortega winning in the main event. What did you think of the card? Did you happen to catch it? Because I'm sure you were busy doing a ton of stuff after the fight, just getting back and everything else.
You know, I don't have the chance to watch the UFC because I was watching the Cyborg Nation, my event on TV. But, you know, I want to say congratulations for Brian Ortega, not just about the fight, but about his cutting his hair, you know, his donation for the people with cancer. This is very nice. And when I hear this, touch my heart. And, man, his great victory, I hear about it. I watched some clips too. And, yeah, it's very, very cool, but I don't have the opportunity to see it, but congrats to him.
Yes, and I thought that was really cool that he did that, especially like because no one expected it, right? Like he comes in to weigh in, you don't even recognize him because he's got rid of his locks. So kudos to Brian Ortega for that. Of course, anytime you get a big dominant win, we always have to talk about Amanda Nunes. But I think one of the things that we wanted to sort of touch on here today is that, you know, how good things are for you right now. I mean, you are the focus. I mean, when you did this event on Thursday on CBS Sports Network, it was all about you. You had your sponsors. We talked about you getting to wear the pink in the cage. You're allowed to express yourself more. I mean, just how good have things been since coming over to Bellator, and how enticing would that be for an Amanda Nunes, because she doesn't have anyone else to fight after Megan Anderson. I think, you know, the two of you fighting in Bellator would be very intriguing.
You know, for me, the second fight I'm doing in Bellator, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy because I'm no employee at Bellator. We are partner. Scott Coker with me, I'm a partner, and then every fighter is a partner over there. And I'm really happy. I think it's for this. Of course, I want to rematch with Amanda Nunes. Everybody knows I want to do this fight. But I think the best thing to do, I don't know, Amanda Nunes try fight out the contract. She fight out the contract, and first she can see what her value. You know, like it was a true value she can get and pay. I'm the best time in my career now. You know, I feel in my prime. I feel good, and I'm in one place that support me, and I getting paid good too. And I believe this is gonna be the option she can see. And you can see I fight in Bellator. I can show express who I am. You know, if I wanna fight pink, I'm gonna fight pink. If I wanna fight the blue, I'm gonna fight blue. I do my things, and I'm really happy there. And for sure, if she's tried the free finish her contract and tries to figure out her value.
Yeah, and I think you sort of touched on it there. I mean, you're in a great position right now, not only just being able to wear what you want, not only the money that's coming in, you know, unlimited sponsors, but having a promoter that's going to work with you on other things. Like you mentioned, your own promotion. I mean, that's not something I think would happen in the UFC, whereas I'm sure Amanda has other interests outside the cage. That's not something where the UFC is going to necessarily work with her because it's in their best interest, where you can see with Bellator, they're really trying to work with the fighters and make something that's beneficial to both of them. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there. Even just the fact that Coker's entertaining you going to boxing, I think if that was happening in UFC, they'd want a slice of the pie, right? So it's a very interesting, sort of dynamic that you have right now with Scott Coker. And like you said, you haven't been happier than ever. I mean, this has been such a good partnership with you coming over to Bellator.
Yes, but you know, Bellator too is open if you put a cross promotion should do in the fight. Yeah. I'm just saying the idea I have to see her the best payment she can have. You know, yes. I'm really happy. I'm in prime in my career now, and then let's see, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. You made some good points there. Good time to wrap things up. Cris, it's so great to have you back. We're looking forward to next week's episode. Anything you want to plug, any social media, any sponsors, anything like that, I'll let you get the floor here.
You know, I want to say thank you for all my fans, and then I want to say thank you for all the messages everybody sent to me. I'm really happy, you know, to the victory, and you guys always support me. Make sure to go to my website. If you guys would like to watch Cyborg Nation fights, I'm going to have already my website too. But you can follow Nacão Cyborg. You're going to find in my Instagram too. I just say thank you for being with me here, James. And everyone, send a message, send a question. We're happy to be here with you.
Yes, and like I said off the top, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Always trying to get our subscribers up here on the channel. And the feedback, like I said, if you guys have any questions, anything you want us to talk about here, we're very interactive with you guys. So if you either want to leave a comment on the channel, hit me up on Twitter, @LynchOnSports, or Instagram. My DMs are open. I'm more than happy to add some topics here each week to the show, because this isn't just about Cris. We're talking about all types of stuff outside the cage as well. So we really appreciate the support. We will be back here next Tuesday talking more about Chris's training and everything else. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.